What's good, everyone? Hopefully, y'all doing good. Been having a good week, and hopefully tomorrow, you're ready for Friday, right? And ready for your weekend. Whatever you have in stored, whatever you got going on, stay grinding. If not, just chill, try to enjoy it, then get back to the grind, right? But for this video, I want to do something. Talk about this sort of theories, right? That's been going around. Pretty sure everybody who grew up around this era, Tupac, Biggie, West Coast versus East Coast type of thing. You know what I mean? When it comes to the rap game and the rap genre. Of course, I was a big fan of both of those artists. More Tupac, but at the end of the day, I still have much love and respect for Biggie and his music. So in this topic, I want to talk about. I always believed, and I have said, right, before even YouTube came out and all this sort of things, that I strongly believe that Puffy was behind Biggie's death. And at that time when I had these sort of conversations with that circle that I was with, they could be like, man, how could you even think about that? Man, Big Puffy was helping Biggie. They were good friends. He would never do that and stuff like that. Could be true at that time, right? Because there was not so much that we could look into, we could see whatever. But something to me always stood out. If you ever was into hip hop around that sort of time, seeing what's going on between both the labels at that time when they had beef, but Puffy always was an interesting character to me. Like, seemed weird. Why is this dude always on the albums? To me, honestly, Puffy's annoying. I don't like his voice. I don't like his rapping. Nothing. So a lot of stuff that he was on Biggie, I kind of like tend to want to hear. I only heard it because of Biggie, not because of Puffy. But I'll give you my reasons of why I felt and always and still to this day believe that Puffy was behind Biggie's death. And a lot of stories that's been coming around, especially with this homie right here, Little C, is telling this sort of stories. You know what I mean? It makes you think about certain things. But I'm gonna tell you why I believe he did it, right? My theory. So when you come to know about the East and West Coast beef around that time, mainly about Biggie, Puff, Death Row, Bad Boy Records, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of you who knows about the stories know about Puffy supposedly putting $1 million on Pac and so on about that, right? I believe around that time too that fortunately Pac died due to certain circumstances that happened in Las Vegas and stuff that he would just happen to be in a mix with, right? Just street stuff in general. But when it came around Biggie, it was something different. And this is what I'm gonna get at, all right? Now there's a certain video out there. I forgot, you know what I mean? What is it called? So I could put it up here as well, just to show that sort of mindset in the fact that when Puffy put like $1 million, right? They just say he did, but obviously what came about that those guys didn't accept that money, so he can't be seen as murder for hire type of thing, right? Because he's supposed to put $1 million down. But after Pac died, Death Row blew up even more because the music sales, everything was just blowing up more. So imagine that, right? Death causes you ain't nobody till somebody kills you. Biggie's song, right? That's a dope song too. But being that said, all right, so let's just say Puffy automatic, excuse me, let's say Puffy automatically, what happened to Pac in his mind at that time is like, all right, this issue is done with this person, right? Meaning who had this sort of backing and could just an crazy motherfucker, you know what I mean? That's really going at you guys. But this guy's no longer with you guys. So the problem is kind of no longer there, but still is, because it's still the West versus East type of thing. So it could be anybody really that could come at you and retaliate you. So now that's sort of my friend, you'll be like, well, at least I think he would have been like, wait a minute, this happened to this dude, the beef is not ending. I'm still rolling with a certain individual that that's still gonna probably bring some sort of drama because of the East and West. You know what I mean? And a lot of people say Biggie never talked about Pac in some sort of ways or forms, but he did subliminally. But he always rapped about Pac here and there, throwing subliminal messages, right? And having that in mind, like I still have the homie, which is good, but it's still gonna probably bring me some issues. And you gotta understand this: at that point in time, the internet was not the way it is right now. Everybody having cell phones and stuff like that. So at that point in time, you could get away with a lot of things, man. If you want to do some sort of activities, some crime activities like that, but especially if you're having a sort of connections, even having money to play with, you can make a lot of things happen around that time to come up even more in whatever way possible you could think about, right? So because he's a businessman and obviously I would say Puffy is a smart businessman and a deadly businessman, being the fact that I think he was involved in Biggie's death. So he thought about this, or at least in my theory, he would think about, I still have this individual. And a lot of people would think they're best of friends, like how I brought up in the beginning. But now that he hears certain stories, how people caught them behind doors on certain occasions, or the way Puffy would treat Biggie, or that Biggie wanted to leave Bad Boy, like, it makes you think about that sort of things. And before I even knew that, I thought about, like I'm saying, my theory about Puffy, him wondering how can I get rid of Biggie, and obviously that will that will eliminate a lot of weight on him. The East and West beef won't be as big because Puffy wasn't like a rapper like Biggie. He wasn't like a street dude like Biggie. You know, I always seen Puffy as a funny individual, but he was a smart dude, and obviously he was out there doing the business. So that's respect. That's respect right there. You know what I mean? So so he would think, how could I do this? So in his mind must have been like, well, if I were to take this guy out, being his friend, Biggie, that would eliminate the East and West beef big time, right? Then afterwards, what? Since they saw the death, what Pac's death brought to Death Row, more money, selling records like crazy. Hey, we got unreleased tracks by Tupac. It blew up, right? A lot of money. So when Puffy will be like, okay, Biggie's gone, if he has a sort of verses, all right, he has a sort of verses. But if he were to make like a rest in peace song like they were doing to Tupac when he passed away, he would just blow up, right? So let me show a little seed story about what happened that night when Biggie got shot.
That's around out there, and we started dealing with him when we was out there. And
if you haven't heard
yeah,
about
so
this,
we pulled out the joint, and nothing either. Like we're not seeing nothing. It's nothing to make us like look at. You know, it was just regular shit. We've been hanging out here for months. You know,
no drama, no nothing.
We get out. Puff pull out first. We pull out behind him. He blow past the light. We stopped at the light. When we stopped at the light, I see some chicks on the curb. Me going out the window, yo, mom, what's up? Yo, it's good. Before you know it, a car just rolled up, started popping in the car. Didn't say nothing, didn't yell nothing. Just
Imagine that, right?
Everybody got down in the truck.
He knew he was in that car.
So that shit stopped. We all hopped out. Everybody door open but Big door.
Because many of the shots fired was on Big's door, similar to what Tupac, right? That was the target. But they also said that the car with the one that Biggie was on was marked with certain stickers or a certain sticker to show that, okay, that's Biggie. But why would Puff run a certain light knowing that he has an entourage behind him, or at least another car, his favorite, his best friend, right? His main artist. If anybody, you know what I mean, somebody was following you trying to go to a certain spot but want to make sure that the person or the girl behind you follows you right and will not miss a certain turn or in any type of way, if you see that light is like at yellow, you're going to want to stop and not let the other person be in a position where you're just flooring it. Then the other person is going to floor it. If a cop sees you, something bound to happen, get stopped, especially if you have stuff in the car or you got warrants or anything like that, or the other intersection will go and then you could probably have a collision. So instead of avoiding that sort of situation, you're going to want to stop and make sure everything's okay. You know, everybody's following each other the way it's supposed to be. So that was kind of funny the way he said it, that Puff just goes, whew. So that being said, what happened, right? And Biggie passed away. So now it's like, all right, people at that time were thinking it's the retaliation when it came around Biggie. And that's one thing that I know was, well, my theory that's in Puffy said. If something happens to Biggie, especially being in LA, who do you think most of the majority of the blame or the focus on or the attention will go to? The East and West Coast. Nobody's gonna know. It was a retaliation. It was a perfect escape for him. You know what I mean? At least what I think around that time. That could be for Puffy's end. So when that happened, time went on. What did Puffy do? Made that song, right? And now has to pay that sort of remix for the because he remixed out of the original. I think it was from Sting, if I'm correct or not, because he did that. he has to pay Sting almost like, damn, that was a pretty good amount of money, at least the last time that I recall. But he did that song. And it's like, okay, of course you're gonna make a song about your best friend, but that's what I'm trying to get at. You do this, the homie passed away. It could be blaming some other thing, not looking at you because you're this clean guy, business guy, was your best friend, all this sort of thing. But now you're getting cash over a rest in peace song because you're saying it's your best friend. Then what I think what nailed what he felt when it kind of like nothing was gonna happen to him when this happened. Remember this?
It is my great pleasure to present the women who made an enormous contribution to the world of rap and hip hop. Please welcome the
Will
mothers
Smith.
of Biggie Smalls
And of all people, but he was perfect, right? Being a guy who was non-violent, having the two mothers of Pac and Biggie together, which was beautiful, right? Because it was like, hey, stop the violence, this must stop, this and that, east and west. Puffy might be in the behind going like, it was more of a business move, man, to blow up, to get richer. Like I'm saying, I believe Puffy, it was never been like a, what do you call it, a dumb dude, a really smart businessman. He saw a certain opportunity, and especially when it came around this and how he could come up out of this with no backlash in any type of way, because everybody's looking at Puffy like an innocent dude, you know what I mean? Or wouldn't be able to do this sort of things. But now that everything's coming to light, everybody's telling their stories and theories as well. This is my theory about that. When it comes around, I believe straight up that Puffy was behind Biggie's death. Take it as you leave it. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your opinions too, as well. Maybe I missed something that I could have probably brought more to this to kind of shed light on that. Especially more the way he is and is in the industry, the way he moves in. I don't know, man. Let me go on depth with that, right? This is not about no politics. This is for the love of rap, for the love of hip hop, for the love of the culture, and it's two artists that I still love and still bump to this day. But it comes to show you that when it comes around this sort of business, you never know. You think it could be your best friend, but it could be plotting your death behind your back and gaining off your death, right? But what do you think? Much love. Hopefully that didn't take too long. Just want to give you my thoughts and opinions about it, right? Much love and rest in peace to everybody who has fallen in this rap game, in this rap culture. I got nothing but love for it. I do music as well. If it's first time seeing me, check me out. Let me know if I'm good or not. And till the next one, keep grinding. Stay positive. Laters.